Chops Garage is proud to be sponsored by Car Vertical, the largest online database of vehicle information. Use the link in the description down below to find the true history of your vehicle or one you're about to buy.
Hey, welcome back to Chops Garage, the real life car trading channel. Now, first up today, guys, those who've been watching the channel for a long time will know that I've cut my teeth buying cars from auction, like British car auctions. And as the business has built, I've been very lucky that I've gathered to get a lot of trade contacts now, and new subscribers have been providing me with cars to a point where I've not really needed to buy from the auctions anymore. The trouble is, though, a lot of what I have now is higher price, and my key business has always been the sub £5,000 market. Ideally, stuff around £3,000 has always sold super well. I currently have a waiting list of about 6 or 7 people that know me. They've either bought cars from me before or been recommended to get a car from me, and their budgets are all £3,000. And I can't help any of them. The last one I had, I sold straight to a subscriber, the i20. So I thought, well, the only way to really sort of cater for that market, because my main dealer contacts and my other dealer contacts and new subscribers, as a general rule, are selling me newer stuff, is to go back to the auctions and put some bids on. And I've been doing it over the last 3 or 4 days, and I've got to show you the score. You're just not going to believe this, guys. So as I used to, I've been bidding mad on the small stuff again. Citroen VTR, Nissan Note, quite an old Yaris there, Kia Picanto, Suzuki Alto. Fantastic small little cars. They have always sold well for me. Again, like I say, those of you who watch the channel for a long time have seen me sell loads of these, and they always fly out the door if I can get them under that sort of 3K mark. They're all sort of 2010, 2007, 59 plate, 61 plate, all sort of, 80,000 miles sort of range. They're cracking sellers at that price point. They go really well. But I just can't win anything. Let me show you. What I mean. Now, one thing for starters that's different is, and one of the reasons I think I should be winning stuff is, I'm finding that BCA aren't providing mechanical reports on a lot of these cheaper cars. They used to on pretty much all of them, but now none of these have really got mechanical reports on, so you're absolutely rolling the dice on mechanicals. I've checked the MOT history to see if there's any indicators on that, but yeah, you really are rolling dice. So here we go, 59 plate and Mazda 2. Now, it said itself, on the age and mileage of that vehicle, that its sale price was about 2.7. It's sold for 17.50. Now, what you've got to remember with all of these cars is you've got fees, and they're going to be about £250 on these cars, and then you've got to get the thing picked up. Then you've got to get it MOT'd and prepped and warranted and pay your VAT. So 17.50 will become probably £1,000 by the time you're all said and done with their fees. Sorry, it'll be £2,000 by the time you're all said and done with their fees. So you've got about 750 margin left in it. You've got to get it picked up. Even if you get it yourself for your 50 quid, if you get it delivered locally, 100 quid. So you're up to like 2.1. You're going to pay £200 VAT on anything, so you're at 2.3 already on that. And then you've got to get it MOT'd and prepped, which, if you're lucky, a couple hundred quid. So you're up to about 2.5 on a car they reckon the retail is 2,750 on. Can't see it myself. I mean, I bid 1,500 quid, which is way more than I wanted to. Still didn't win it. This Nissan Note, again, it said the retail for this Nissan Note on a 58 plate with the miles it had on it was about 2.8. The thing sold for 2.4 before fees. Before fees. I bid 1,500, got nowhere near, clearly. But that, with your fees, with your delivery, you are pretty much at what retail value is. Toyota Aygo on a 59 plate. It's a 2,795 car. Maybe 2,995 if you're absolutely lucky as. 2.1. So again, fees, VAT, delivery, you're at 2.7 already. I bid 1,500. Suzuki Alto, now it's only £100 out on this one. Again, I bid more than I want to, because again, the Suzuki Alto is probably a 2.5k car, really, on that on a 59 plate. Sold for 1,400, so you might think, well, you got 1,100 quid, but again, by the time you've done everything, if you make 400 quid on it, you're lucky, and then you've still got 6 months on the hook. Just a bit too risky. I mean, I say I wasn't massively outbid on that one. Down here, Kia Ceed Estate. I had no mechanical report on it at all. The miles weren't that low. It went for £450 more than I bid. Right, so we sold one of these fairly recently, 2011 wasn't it? Clio with similar miles. What did we get for it? 2.5, 2.7 was it? 2.795. Went for 1750. So you got like £1,000 in it before you paid. Again, you might make £400 or £500, which I guess, if you're going to be tough on your warranties, I guess you can afford to make £500. But that was a cheeky bid. I just bid £100 because I haven't seen a Rover 45 for a long time. Punto sell cheap. You cannot get more than about £2.5 for a Punto. Sold for £1,900. £1,900. Now, a lot of you are going to go, well, the people must be making money on them and doing the deals on them, James. You must be out of touch. I run these cars through Auto Trader. I know what their retail value is. And I've sold enough of them to know the score. 2010 Yaris, 1,500 quid. Now, that's probably more like it because you can get 3 for that. But if I've bid 9, I can guarantee there was something with that, like mechanically wise, that it probably didn't have a report at all. And if a car hasn't got a report at all, you can guarantee there's something that's going to be wrong with it. 59 plate C1 Splash, that again, that is more than a 2795 car. You've got £795 margin in it before you start paying everything. 1600 wasn't outrageous for a 2009 Mazda 2. That could be a £3,000 car, possibly. And then, yeah, the value, I remember the value for this because I looked at it and it said it was 2.2 retail, something like that. 2.2 for a 2008 Aguila. They have to be super cheap, don't they? You dealers out there know these have to be super cheap. £1,800. So you're going to be about 2.2 by the time you've just got the thing to your place, paid all the fees, paid for delivery on a car that's worth 2.5. So prices are still crazy. Now the interesting thing is, on the other end of the spectrum, we're seeing high-end cars, nicer cars, the 5k plus cars, dropping quite high values month by month when you run them through the system. So it would appear to me that everyone's in the same boat. They're all looking for the cheapy little runarounds. And a lot of other dealers do say this. When the economy's in the pooper, as they like to say, and people are worried, you get the cheapies in. But I don't know. Talk to me. Other dealers, talk to me. Comment down below. Are you selling cars for 2.5, 2.7 and making £400, £300 on them? Are you doing that? Does that work for you? The risk is just too high to me, especially when, like I say, when these haven't got mechanical. But maybe I'm the wrong. Maybe I'm in the wrong. Maybe I'm the one that's in the wrong. Right, guys. This is a quick video on my phone. I made a quick phone call on the way out of the gym to someone and said, "You don't have anything at the moment, do you?" And they went, "No." And then they rang me back and said, "Well, actually, we have got something for you. Hyundai i20, but look, bum bum bum, automatic. This is the holy grail because this is a 2010. This is the holy grail of cars at the moment in car dealing. 22,000 miles. Oh my word! You're genuine. Look at this. Look how mint it is." Alright guys, we've got to find out if there's any problems with this, but this is one we need badly, but I better keep that to myself, better I? Right, let's start putting it down. Oh yeah, no one's going to want blue. Yeah, there's a little stain there. Yeah, horrible, isn't it? Horrible. Service history. What have we got there? 11, 12... 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Beautiful. Look at that. Pouring with rain, but it's pouring with rain, but I better do some basic checks on it. Unless this thing has got no oil in it and won't change gear, it's got to come home with us. Look at that transmission fluid, man. It's overfilled, but it's crystal clear. So that could be a good or a bad thing. That might well be to try and resolve something, so we better get for its gears. Oil. Quick look at that. That's overfilled as well. Strange for a main dealer to overfill stuff. And a lot to negotiate with here. Let's take it for a drive and just check. I'm going to have to put you down for that. Just check it goes through the gears. Right, changes gear fine, so perhaps someone just overfilled it. Both the oil and the gearbox overfilled would indicate that perhaps it's just someone rubbish at servicing. This might be one of the scenarios, guys, where you just pay the man, because I've got nothing to knock him down on. Alright, okay, let's go and see what he wants for it. So, sorry about the filming there. I have an agreement I don't film on site on the cars around, because there's a lot of higher value cars around. So, not a good idea to be filming around there. So I was restricted to doing it a bit in the cabin there. But this is what we've got. We've picked it up, we brought it back. We have a Hyundai i20. You know we love these things. As you know, it's an automatic with like 20-odd thousand miles. Really nice blue. It's a bit dirty from being driven, but I can assure you this thing is going to come up immaculate. I don't think I'm going to have an awful lot of work to do. There's going to be no paint that I can see at all. The paintwork looks absolutely spot on. The alloys are all good. There's no curbing. They'll come up nice and clean. Inside, as you saw, is mint. Again, a bit dirty from getting in and out. The seats need the lightest of wet clean on the bases, maybe on the front. I quite like the blue interior. All the plastics are bang on. Yeah, the interior is mint. I do not have... Well, I always find myself work cleaning cars because I go hell for leather on them, don't I? So all the door shuts will need to be done. All the seats move back and forth and really hoovered out. The base is wet clean, so even on a car this clean, I still find myself plenty to do. But yeah, what a bit of gold, eh? In the current market, this is what everybody's after: small CC automatics, and we know people love low mileage stuff. Theo from Bowens, you're going to be on my case, aren't you, about wanting this one? No doubt. Look, there's a cover in the boot. I haven't seen one of those before for an i20. The carpet should be good all there. Now I was going to give it a clean and get it photographed and up for sale straight away, but the boys down at Motorworks have got my Skoda Fabia ready. That's got its new MOT on it, so I need something to go down there and swap over. And this has an MOT till January, so we'll get it down and get the MOT done on it. That'll give us an opportunity to have a little short drive in it, so I'll pick you up a bit of footage driving it. I did take it obviously for a test drive and get it through the gears, but I'm always a little bit... I don't want to take the mic on and go out for ages on them, so I just take them long enough to make sure it goes all the way through the gears and leave it running when it's there, make sure the temperature doesn't get up too high. But yeah, what do you think, guys? Comment down below. I've not had one in this colour before. It's a really nice looking motor. Just in case anybody's wondering, I haven't binned off the Moors, guys. The reason we're going to Motorworks with it is Moors have the Ignis still, the RAV4, which needs some work. The Ignis needs some work, some RAV4 needs some work. It's a slow starter, so we're going to have to look at the glow plugs on that. Same old, guys. Diesel cars, nightmare. You've got to be so careful when you've got to drive them when they're absolutely stone cold. That one must have been moved not so long before I got in it. Not intentionally, but just from being moved around the yard. Diesel, seriously, if you're going to go and test drive a diesel, make sure the engine is absolutely stone cold, because all the problems seem to arise when engines are cold. So yeah, it's a bit of a slow starter, so we've got to get down. So the guys there, they've got that on the go. They've got the Ignis on the go. They're still working on my Sanyong as well, which they've got on the go. And they've got another car down there. I can't remember what cars they've got down there. I think they've got 4 down there. So again, they're swamping my work at the moment. Plus they've got other people. So nice, simple, quick MOT like this. We'll get it down to the Motorworks guys who, again, they're being stars as well. I'm just so lucky with the 2 garages. Anyway, let's get cracking, get the car down there. First time in a automatic i20. All feels very familiar, apart from the fact I've got nothing to do with my hand and my other leg. Well, it should be on the steering wheel, shouldn't it, as you always remind me. All suspension feels decent. Brakes nicely. Seems to be changing gears smoothly. Obviously, small petrol engines with automatic gearboxes aren't always the best combination, unless of course they're a K11 Micra. That was brilliant. Yeah, they don't normally work particularly well, because you need the kind of bigger capacity to smooth the gear changes out, really. Otherwise they start screaming. We'll go through town because it's flooded the other side. So if I mash my foot down, does it drop down? Yeah, it does. Very familiar sort of scream as there is with a 1.4 Corsa automatic. These are very much for your local runabouts. If you've got any desire to do any enthusiastic driving, a small CC auto is not for you. Unless again, do you want to get on the middle of the road? Oh my goodness me! Yeah, unless of course you're in something that's screaming fun like that K11 Micra. This is yeah. But it's horses for courses, isn't it? It's what you need. You know, you might need automatic but might not have the money to run a bigger engine car. So you need something that's going to have a bit more economy, a bit cheaper on the road tax, in which case this fits in nicely. I mean, pootering along like this, it feels fine. I imagine once you start getting to the big steep hills, it's going to be screaming a bit, but it is what it is, isn't it? Anyway, let's get it down to the motorwork, boys. Get it in for the MOT. Check it hasn't got any nasty surprises for us. Fingers crossed that we're all good. And then we'll give it a wash, get it up for sale. Comment down below, how long do you think it's going to take for it to sell? I know if it was a sub 3k automatic, it would be up for about an hour. But this one will probably end up retailing for around a 6k mark. If not a little bit more, looking at Auto Trader. My only thing with very low mileage cars is you have to really want a very low mileage car, because obviously there's a price premium to pay versus one of this age that would normally have what? It's quite nippy off the line actually. You know, probably 80 to 100,000 miles. So you have to be very wedded to getting the low mileage, as opposed to getting maybe a 2012 car with the higher mileage. But we'll see, we'll get it up for sale, see what happens.